Wheat School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Syngenta Canada, Alberta Wheat Commission, and C&M Seeds.
Peter Johnson at Wheat Pete, RealAgriculture.com, and another Real Wheat Growers episode. This is just awesome. I'm here with Clark Aitken from Parkland Farms, and he's the agronomist here. What's really cool about Parkland Farms is not only do you do an outstanding job on a whack of acres of wheat, but we're standing in a winter barley field. Not only are they real wheat growers, they are real barley growers as well. So Clark, give us a little bit of background. This is a winter barley field. What's your best ever winter barley yield?
Yeah, we had 2 years ago 180 plus bushel.
180 plus bushel per acre. So this crop, by the way, it can really turn it out, but 180 bushel per acre, and then I understand you double crop soybeans as well.
Correct.
So probably the most profitable crop on the farm that year, right?
That's right. It was, when you add, it was 40 bushel plus beans, and then with the barley, it turned out pretty well for the boys. So,
yeah, awesome. Just incredible. Now this year, you don't think this field's got quite that potential? You're seeing some dirt between the rows, right?
Yeah, that's usually my indication. If you can see soil, you're going, the population isn't there. The heads look a little smaller, but the plant health's there, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see for sure. But one of the things, the differences you mentioned was the year you got 180 plus, seeded a little bit earlier than you did for this particular crop, and that is one of the things about even winter wheat. Winter barley is even more important, early seeding. So one of the things you probably strive for is get it in the ground as quickly as you can, right?
That's right. We got it in September 27th. We'd like to have it a little bit earlier, but it didn't happen this year.
Yeah, no, it's the way the year works out, right?
Correct.
So, winter wheat, because it's real wheat growers, winter wheat. What on a good year, what's your average wheat yield?
Yeah, it's 110, over 110, 115 in there is what we've been doing over a wide range of soil types, of course. Per year, maybe 100 in there somewhere.
Yeah, so per year 100 on how many acres roughly?
3,000 plus.
Yeah, 3,000 plus. And so just let me paint the scenario, because we are in Lambton County. And my good friend Chad Anderson, he loves to call this the breadbasket, but it's the breadbasket on clay soil that is often over 60% clay. Like, holy snapping. This is tough stuff, right? This is where we plant soybeans 3 times, because when it rains an inch, you get a 3-inch crust. And so you might be saying, oh gosh, the 100 bushel doesn't sound very impressive. I am incredibly impressed. 3,000 acres on a poor year, 100 bushel wheat on a good year. We challenge 120. That's quite incredible, right? That's really, really outstanding. So Clark, give us the production package. What do you do? Start with seeding. Let's walk through it.
Okay, we try to, as soon as we can, once the beans off, we get the soil ready, but we mix our seed and fertilizer together.
So you actually mix them together physically, or
it's in our seeder, in the air seeder.
So a tube in air.
Correct. And the maps in one, and the seeds in the other. And so we put in about 1.7 million seeds. And then as we go through spring, split apply nitrogen.
Okay, so just before you go there, so let's back up to the map.
Yep.
How much map?
Okay, we've been going 100, but this past year I went to 125. Just thought our phosphorus levels on our soil from our soil tests are down a bit, so I don't know if 125 would make a big difference, but I have gone 125.
Which I find really intriguing, because one of the things we've talked about is how big yields, so 100 bushel wheat, right? Plus big bean yields most of the time, decent bean yields, good corn yields. What's trending, or what's happening, is we're taking more phosphorus off than we're replacing. So this is one of the ways that Clark has looked at, okay, well, the seeder will do 125 pounds a map, and it might not bring more wheat yield, but we're trying to maintain that phosphorus soil test, and you'll see if it actually adds yield or not. But I think that's a really cool kind of thought process. I'm a bit surprised 1.6, 1.7 on this clay is not as high a seeding rate as I would have anticipated. But what kind of stands, what kind of plants per foot of row would you look for in the spring?
Yeah, I like the 15 to up in that 17, but I'm getting a lot of 10s and 12s in there. So maybe we could increase the population a bit.
Yeah, but I guess the point I think is that you're getting 100+ bushel yield with 10 or 12 plants per foot of row. And so that's one of those things in the spring. Lots of guys, and particularly on this clay soil, they call up and say, what do I need as a minimum? But you're saying sometimes even 7 plants per foot of row would be a good enough stand that you would leave on this clay kind of soil, right? Yeah, which is cool. So springtime, what do we do in the spring now?
Okay, as soon as we can go in, we split apply our nitrogen. So our red wheat, we put 140 pounds, so I do 70 and 70. And of course, each application gets sulfur.
Yep.
So,
And so how total, like 140, 150 pounds of nitrogen, how much sulfur?
yeah, just the way my blend worked out, this year it's about 20 pounds of sulfur.
Yeah, so that's at the high end. So 70 pounds as early as you can in the spring. So why 70 pounds? Why not 50 or 90, or why not do it all on in one fell swoop?
Well, with the acres, we're wondering if we ever get a delay, maybe a big rain, we can't get any more on, at least we got 70 pounds on and we got the sulfur. So it's for that reason. We get over the acres quicker, we get them all a bit of nitrogen, and then we can come back. But if something happens weather-wise, we can't do it, at least we got 70 pounds.
Yep, and so why not do it all then? Why not put it all on in one shot right then?
Just for management of the fields, once again, if there's a bad weather something, and then we only got half the fields done with all the application, because it is slower with putting it all on at once.
Plus on this heavy clay, if you put it all on up front and get that bad weather stretch, then where's that nitrogen going, right? Like that's another, so that split nitrogen is a management strategy. What about fungicides?
Yes, fungicide at T1 with our herbicide, and then again, of course, for T3, which we're presently doing right now.
So your T1 fungicide, you're actually doing it a little bit earlier than what I think a lot of growers are doing, but you're doing your weed control with it?
Correct.
Yeah, and so you're trying to marry that together, and interesting. So it's all sort of a management strategy in terms of the nitrogen management is to get over enough acres plus protect from some loss and go back in the second time. The weed control strategy is marrying that first fungicide. It's not my ideal timing, but I cannot argue with 120 or 184 bushel barley. That's pretty tough to argue with. So way cool stuff, Clark. Thank you so much. Just another awesome wheat grower. I think it's an excellent package, and it's all basic. There's nothing fancy, but you do the right things, you do the basics well, you end up being an awesome wheat grower. Clark, a real wheat grower.
Thanks,
Thank you very much. Peter Johnson, Real Agriculture, real wheat growers.